So this guy went around fixing all the potholes that the city neglected to fix for decades, causing millions and millions in damages to everyday citizens' vehicles.
It's not AI.
The crazy thing is that he's had negative reactions from the state. He could be ticketed, that he could potentially be jailed because if he does a bad job. They're like, isn't this such a crazy...
That is not AI. That exists for real. And you don't have... And peep game, you don't have to look for those. You don't find potholes. Potholes find you.
Like, this is a highway.
The tire.
Look.
The rim.
Look how deep these holes are.
What is that?
How is this a road in a first world country?
I thought it was snow not picked up. It's the road.
And I'm not gonna lie, I did laugh a little bit when they're like, hey, he might do a bad... The city does a bad job. We pay your tax dollars, and you guys do a fucking bad job.
The bar is in the realms. It's low.
The turnaround from when they pave over something into when it fucks up again is so short. This is still our city. We live here. We have to experience the streets. We have to deal with it. And the idea that someone's taking ownership and wants to fix things, I'm always going to say that because it's making the lives of everyone easier. But the idea that this man, going around town, going around to all the most important parts of town, right? And he's like filling in these potholes.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to mute it just for a second here. But basically, his wife has a lot of mobility problems, and this was causing them issues because it was very difficult for them to get out. So he comes by and he fixed something. And this old man cannot believe it's going to happen right away this quickly. And so here he is. He fills it in. It takes him 10 minutes, costs him about $100.
$120.
Yeah. So
he's trying to pay him.
He's trying to pay him.
Nah.
I ain't never seen shit like this before in my whole life.
I have.
And
it was last year.
So in terms of construction, we pay $65,000 per kilometer of road work. That's 3 times the average of other major cities. And yet we get much worse quality corruption. They're trying to demonize this guy like he's a problem. And I'm like, how dare you? Before you even have like the audacity to mention anything about this dude and the repercussions. Yo, go fucking clean out your closet. Go clean out all that mafia cum that y'all been storing back there. All them money-stained, Italian-sauced dollar bills y'all been spreading around. All the cutting of corn. Y'all cut so many corners, bitches a circle. Okay? Until y'all deal with that, I don't want to hear nothing about, yo, the material. The material he's using is better than fucking empty space. Okay? It is still exponentially better than driving over fucking air and fucking up everything. When I say this, it's not like, oh, you might damage your car. It's a hazard in terms of just danger. Bro, the roads are so fucking bad, he's just swerving to try to dodge them. Not paying attention sometimes to who's beside them, but I ain't mad at them because the hole they're approaching is so fucking big that if they go into it, they're gonna fuck themselves up. So now you got people swerving, causing car accidents, harming other people.
What pisses me off is that whenever you do any modification with your car, you change the pipe, you change the power of your car, and the police stops you, you get a fine. Why? Because your car is deemed unsafe. Bitch, the road I'm riding on is not safe. You know? The road that I'm rolling on with my car that I paid taxes on, with the wage that I already paid taxes on the road that I paid taxes on, with my driver's license that I paid taxes on that, is not safe.
So now comes the hustle. Because you saw how mad they got with this man for filling in the holes and doing the whole city a service, okay? So he's fixing a problem that the government is dragging its feet on. Montreal contractors often submit lowball bids to win contracts and then compensate those bids with corner-cutting repaving techniques that fail to meet quality standards, the city's inspector general has found. So this is not an opinion, this is not a vibe.
No,
when we've looked into it, all we found is corruption. And I don't think like just a minor amount. They've taken the mayor of one of the northern part of the city and sent him to jail because they found that for 15 years, he was embezzling money to offer specific groups contracts. And they found out those specific groups had ties to the mafia.
His friends.
Whoa. Organized crime groups have realized they can't operate in open. So a lot of them have found ways to have fronts on the legal side, and they operate very quietly. And construction here is basically run by a lot of corrupt people who want to cut corners and organized crime. They're going to constantly do a fucked up job on these roads. They're going to use poor quality stuff that's going to break, and then they're going to get the bid again to fix it. And so you're never going to get improvement, and you're going to constantly legally siphon out money out of everyday people.
Everyday people. I love the fact that, this country and this province specifically got a love relationship with gangs. A love-hate. Well, they hate gangs when they wear baggy pants, right? But they sure love the other ones with suit and tie. They re-elect them. And it's not something that is new. That's been going on for like last 5 years. It's been going on. I'm talking decades. And it's been going worse and worse. It's just that now we're kind of at a breaking point. Breaking points.
Welcome to Breaking Points with Crystal and Sagar.
So they did a giant investigation into these people. They had wiretaps, video cameras. I want y'all to see just how old school. This shit look like it's straight out of Sopranos, okay? Isn't this so fucking old? You think the mob is gone, but it's still existing. So you see what's happening there? He's going into his sock. What is he pulling out? He's pulling out a wad of cash to pay off the mob member. And so what they did is they had recordings of these guys doing these payoffs, and they would all do it sneakily. They didn't know they were on cameras. But they had this, and they used this in the inquiry when they released a report on this whole issue. They had something called the Charbonneau report. So this guy's name is Lino Zambito. So you already can tell, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
the neck grease, the name, okay, crime. Now,
Gabagool.
This guy was a former executive of the Infobec Construction. He names names and details his involvement in a collusion scheme that included billing City Hall for falsified expenses on municipal projects, rigging bids for public work contracts, paying off the mob. He also explained how a cartel of companies split up all the contracts in the city. He also told the commission that entrepreneurs in the city construction projects were expected to give a cut of 2.5% of the value of each contract they got from the city to the mayor. That means that the mayor and the person who's signing off on the contract is like, I'm gonna give it to you, 2.5% of this $40 million contract, run it to me in a Swiss account. When they arrested this guy, they had to go overseas to find all his offshore accounts where he was getting this money embezzled to. We get higher taxation because they have to justify, oh, the roads are not good, we need more taxes. Then they pay themselves more with more money they take from us.
Most of the people that make money sometimes are like, oh, we pay more taxes and we won't pay more taxes. I don't mind paying more taxes. The problem is not me paying more taxes or not. I agree with me paying more taxes if I make more money.
Yeah.
I want to see where my money goes, and right now I do not see it.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
And I swear to God, if the city ever thought about suing this dude, I would be supportive of anything he done in terms of his legal fund.
I already said
Come to me.
I already said that.
Oh, yeah.
I already said that I was paying his tickets.
Absolutely.
I already said that. Like, it's crazy because I was in Africa with Abba, and we were in a whole last safari, and I felt right at home.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this feels like René Lévesque. It's like, it was great. And you know what? It got so bad. It got so bad that the mayor of Montreal.
Deux pneus, deux flats. Deux flats. Bon, là, je suis avec le gars de la remorqueuse.
She got two
Dis bonjour.
flats.
You guys can't understand the French, but basically she's just talking about the fact that she got two flat tires. And so she's experiencing what we have in terms of suffering.
And the reason why she films, she's good with the PR. The PR is amazing. The reason is because she was stopped on the side of the road. People starting to recognize her, and we're like, ooh, what's going on, baby? What's going on, my girl? Why you stop? You got 4 flashes. I see that, did you hit that pothole over there? And then they started recording. And then she's like, let me take control of that, so I'm gonna record myself and make a report, which is the smart thing to do, but it tells you the bigger problem. And I'm not blaming her, right? Because she actually just got here. She just got elected. And the thing is, when you're running for office, you're like, oh, you have all these promises, and you're like, we're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that, we'll get there. And then you get to office, and then you realize how bad it is, how bad it's been, how bad shit's been delayed. You mean that machine got never maintained? Never. What about that? Never. So you see how things are really managed and it's affecting everybody?
I think the main takeaway is that these bureaucratic systems need change on a systemic level. And they won't do a lot of these changes at times, or they'll really drag their feet at the expense of all the taxpayer who they're siphoning money out of. I'm all for funding public services. I believe in that. I believe in social safety nets. I've never been against those ideas. But I think it's okay to say, bitch, if you got the mafia involved, take care of your fucking shit. If you release a report where you find out contractors or basically lowballing and find a way, you need to have repercussions for these people. It cannot be that folks get a slap on the wrist for essentially doing a bad job on purpose and stealing money from us. There needs to be repercussions. And that's what I mean when I was saying earlier in terms of the South African thing, change has to be systemic. You could go and fill as many potholes, and God bless this man. but it's not a sustainable thing long term. In the short term, I think what he's doing is beautiful, okay? And you never want to poo-poo, but I don't want to hear about this man, oh, what are you doing? I don't care. Y'all have neglected this shit for so long, you can't get mad at somebody for fixing shit that you abandoned. And you can say we didn't. You did.
You did.
Because when I go on those streets, that's abandonment. And it might have been your administration. It might have been the previous one. Fair. We were still abandoned. I just wanted to give a shout out to the guy because I think what he's doing is beautiful, but I also want to take time to look at how systems fuck over everybody. Okay? And they know. Y'all think about that? They got fucking testimony. They got motherfuckers on camera taking wads of money out their pocket.
Oh.
They got payoffs. They got bank records. They jailed a couple, but they had a fall guy. All the others, they got away with most of what they did.
Oh, do you know how to get the testimonies?
Go ahead.
They get the testimonies by saying, oh, by the way, if you testify, we won't prosecute you. You know, Epstein kind of shit. Anyways, yeah. If you testify, we won't prosecute you. So nobody's get done.
When you see some of the construction jobs that they're doing, like when there was a pothole at my corner, like I'm 6 foot tall, like double me. It was that long of a hole. Bro, they must have had construction cones there for like 7 weeks. And this is a busy intersection. This is like St. Catherine and... bro, you know when they came to fix it, it took them 2 days. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here. So you was fucking up traffic for everybody for like 2 months. And it didn't even take you like a half a day to fix that shit. Nah. I pay too much taxes.
And meanwhile, those cones cost about $70.
Oh yeah, they got to rent for them shit.
For renting because
Well,
they don't own them.
it's $1 a day.
$1 a day per cone.
Have you seen how many fucking cones there is?
Yo, bro.
So that's the reason why Garda, the company Garda, they rent cones now.
No. And the thing is, there's incentives. Like, if you're a business owner and you're like doing this construction stuff, there's no reason for you to go fast. You get paid the whole time you're on this, work outing. You get paid for like renting the whole shit. So like, it's in your like. We have incentivized them to be fucking slow, lazy, and to abuse the system.
100%.
Doing nothing literally makes these. And we talk about welfare being a huge problem. Yo, the amount of money these motherfuckers steal, pretending like they're working. Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, doing the research for this and then learning about all the names of the mafia members who were involved. And it's like, mafia is just like something of the past, something you see in video games and movies. But like, when you find out, like, no, these motherfuckers still live in the city, some of them still got the connections. It's just like, oh.
The past.
Yeah. If we get firebombed, I'm not suicidal. You know what I mean? I like living.